Government says it awaits a U.S. government decision on Ghana's extradition request for former Finance Minister Ofori Atta to come back to Ghana. Also, Tamale High Court defers ruling on stay of application filed by embattled former Kpandai MP Mathew Nyindam. All these are more in the next few minutes. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the government says it is awaiting a decision on Ghana's extradition request for former Finance Minister Ofori Atta. The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, says a formal request has been submitted for Mr. Ofori Atta's return to Ghana to face criminal charges alongside Ernest Dakwakore over alleged corruption linked to the controversial Strategic Mobilization Limited SML revenue assurance deal, among other alleged offences. Mr. Dominic Ayine said that the extradition process is now at an advanced stage, with Ghana awaiting a response from relevant authorities while assuring the public that the government remains committed to accountability and the rule of law.
On November 19th, 2025, that is this year, my office received a formal request from the Office of the Special Prosecutor to initiate extradition proceedings for Ofori Atta and Ernest Dakwakore from the United States of America. Following a preliminary review, our International Cooperation Unit observed that certain aspects of the request require clarification and enhancements to align with the applicable legal and procedural requirements. We communicated these observations to the Office of the Special Prosecutor via a letter dated 25th November 2025 and requested supplementary documentation to ensure completeness. On December 9th, 2025, the Office of the Special Prosecutor provided a requested additional documentation and addressed the observations that we raised, thereby finalizing the extradition request packages. Subsequently, on December 10th, 2025, my office transmitted the complete request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for onward transmission to the competent authorities in the United States of America. By the Office of the Special Prosecutor, I am not permitted to go into the details of the charges. But the charge sheet is a public document and has been made available. And all of you, I'm sure, have access to it. There are 78 charges against Honorable Ofori Atta and his accomplices, and they border on causing financial loss to the state, using public office for private benefit, and so on and so forth. So you can look at the charge sheet and then make up your minds with respect to the charges. So I won't comment on them in today's press conference. Basically, what I want Ghanaians to know is that this government is committed to accountability, and the government has taken the requisite steps that are legally required for the Honorable Ofori Atta and Ernest Dakwakore to be extradited to Ghana, to be brought to Ghana to face justice.
And you had the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, and we'll bring you some more updates very quickly. Ahead of that, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Chairman of the defunct Operation Recover or Loot Oral Preparatory Team, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has expressed strong confidence that efforts to retrieve stolen state assets will succeed, insisting the initiative is critical to the survival of Ghana's democratic system. Speaking on TV3's Midday, Mr. Ablakwa said said the overall agenda remains on course, despite increasing public criticism of the government, particularly the Attorney General, over what many perceive as slow progress in recovering looted public resources and holding those responsible accountable. He acknowledged the concerns, but maintained that the asset recovery process is complex and requires patience, stressing that failure is not an option. He said that the inability to recover stolen state assets would undermine public trust in governance and the country's democracy.
I am an eternal optimist. I'm confident that Oral will succeed. Oral is on track. Yes, people want swift justice, but the wheels of justice grind slowly. And what matters is that there's that commitment. I can assure you that we are unwavering. Our commitment has not faltered. And all of us in cabinet keep discussing Oral, we're receiving reports regularly, and the president is insisting that we must make sure that ultimately a clear example is set, particularly for those of us in office today, that you will not be allowed to loot and you will not get away with it if you loot. And so I like the two-way approach, that is not only accountability for those who once held office, but it is also the president is clearly sending a message, and he keeps telling us, I won't save you, I will not protect you, I will not be a clearing agent.
Presidential jets.
So see what is going on, see what others are being put through, and learn from that, and conduct yourselves, with accountability, transparency, and making sure that there is integrity that is defining your every move. So Oral is on track. Oral will succeed because we have no choice. I mean, we have absolutely no choice. If Oral fails, we are finished. We are finished. And you see, it will even threaten the survival of our democracy. If Oral fails, this democracy is in peril.
Mr. Bekoe also defended Ghana's deployment of military troops to assist Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa, following claims by the minority in Parliament that the move is misguided.
The minority should be embarrassed that they take that position and seek to question Ghana's compassion, Ghana's love, Ghana's kindness in times of crisis. When there is a humanitarian crisis, Ghana should be one of those countries able to assist. And we have always done that. Our foreign policy has been rooted in empathy, in humanity, in compassion. That is why when Guinea, in 1958, declared independence from France, and the French sought to punish them, took everything away from Guinea, the Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah set the tone for us. So government after government, empathy, compassion, caring, and positioning ourselves as a country that takes responsibility, as a country that doesn't look the other way. And as I said yesterday, our foreign policy will be defined not by how much we can take from others, but by how much we can share with others. We have always been there for our people. We care for Ghanaians. But you see, in our foreign policy, we have always placed the care for others, the compassion for others, at the heart of our foreign policy. Because that is when you also face some difficulty, people will reach out to you. That is also when it comes to respect for countries, dignity for countries, we will take our rightful place in the Committee of Nations. And so to say that it is not right, I mean, it is so un-Ghanaian. Do you know the Rwandans have written to the Foreign Ministry that they want to come to Ghana and establish a monument in the next few days?
And you heard the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Bekoe. Let's return to our earlier story about the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Kayine, giving us some update on some high-profile cases in the Government Accountability Series. My colleague Komla Kluche sat through that press conference. He joins us live on the phone. Komla, what more can you tell us?
Formally,
Come now, we can hear you.
Beatrice, I can hear you.
Yes, what more can you tell us beyond the minister's response that he cannot tell when Ofori Atta would come back because the situation has become complex now after he hiring some experienced lawyers in the U.S.?
Well, I mean, it's worth noting he makes the point that he is officially transmitted the request for his extradition from the U.S. together with his accomplice Ernest Daco from the United States, and so he's only waiting. The Herculean task now is to the effect that Ofori Atta has hired pretty much top lawyers from the U.S. who would have to argue this case out right at the district court in the United States, where the Attorney General himself would equally be represented, whether him or somebody else, we are not able to tell. And so it's not that easy just getting him. The request has been formally made, and he makes the point that it's now left with the judicial authorities in the U.S. to determine the veracity or the strongness of the case against Ofori Atta, to which they would be extradited if it goes in favor of the country. And so that's where he has left it. On the question of why it's a back and forth, that they are able to move people from here to the U.S., well, he makes it quite known that solid evidence has been given against these individuals. Recently, we have the Butrika case. Most of the victims are citizens of the United States, and so the collaboration from law enforcement agencies in the U.S. together with the Ghanaian ones is what's been able to do this. And it's the same process that they are also going through, to which hopefully Ofori Atta will be extradited. There's no time limit. Again, he makes the point that IOCO is also been able to recover some over $19 million through Operation Recover All Loot, through some fraudulent scheme that was established based on collaboration they've had with British security agencies to be able to uncover this. So those are basically the issues that he's been saying.
What more can you tell us, really, regarding what he reviewed? I know he talked about the Hanan case, he mentioned the cybersecurity, the cryptocurrency issue, among others.
Basically, these are the only things, the exception of the fact that he gave an update on when Asiedu Ofori Atta would be brought to the country. He says, well, she's equally hired lawyers, though the American authorities are determining the case because it's equally in a district court. And once they are done, then the processes to extradite her would equally come. And so everything is not based on the American judicial system with respect to the extradition of these two or three individuals, one Ofori Atta, Mr. Corey, and also Asiedu.
And then he said that on Monday we should expect some more names as regards high-profile individuals involved in suspected corruption, right?
Just like you mentioned.
Thank you so much. Komla Kluche, he is our presidential correspondent. Thank you so much for bringing us those updates. Now, judgment for the application for stay of execution by lawyers of embattled Member of Parliament for Kpandai Mathew Nyindam has been deferred by the Commercial Division of the High Court to yet to be determined date. Sources at the Tamil High Court revealed that the deferment of the judgment is because the presiding judge is indisposed. On November 24, lawyers for Mathew Nyindam filed an application for stay of execution following the High Court ruling ordering a rerun of the Kpandai parliamentary election. Christopher Marco is our man following this. He joins us live on the phone. Chris, if you can tell us what happened in court today.
Yes, so today there was supposed to be a certain way to determine whether or not the application for the stay of execution in the Kpandai case will be upheld by the Tamale High Court or not. Unfortunately, when we got to court, we were told by the registrar that the presiding judge will not be able to come to court because he indicated to him that he was unwell, and so proceedings did not take place today. And also we were not given another date that the case will be heard or judgment will be given. And so, as it stands now, we are yet to get any information from the court when next the parties involved should come to court for the judgment.
We understand that the lawyers for Mr. Nyindam spoke at the court to the press?
Yes, so they actually indicated that they don't have power over the sickness or whatever that is affecting the judge. But what they do know is that the Supreme Court has made a pronouncement, whatever that the High Court judge would have said will not have any impact on the earlier ruling by the Supreme Court. And so whether they get judgment today or not, what they know is that on the 13th, the Supreme Court will give a ruling on the application that they filed. Let's take a listen to what they have been saying.
The court again proceedings for ruling on the motion for stay of execution today. So we came to court ready for our ruling or for the judge to tell us what his stand is in the light of the Supreme Court orders. Unfortunately, we are told that the judge is not available today. He's indisposed. And so there's even no substantive adjournment given to us. So as it stands, everything here will be on hold until the final determination of the certiorari application by the Supreme Court. So we don't have any definite date for which we will return here for the ruling on the stay of execution to be given. In any case, once the highest court has already arrested the elections on the 30th of December 2025, this court cannot decide otherwise. Yes, but he was expected to be available in court today to let us know his official stand as well. But as I say, because the courts operate in a form of hierarchy, the Supreme Court supervises the High Court. So the High Court cannot take a contrary decision to what the Supreme Court has already ordered. Whereas the High Court is bound by every decision and order of the Supreme Court.
And he had a lawyer for Mathew Nyindam, which say at the courts because the Koforidua High Court has dismissed the election petition filed against the Suhum NPP MP Asiedu Bekoe and others. The High Court also awarded a cost of 200,000 Ghana cedis against the petitioners. Following the declaration of the December 2024 Suhum parliamentary election results, the petitioners had asked the court to invalidate the outcome of the Suhum constituency results, citing alleged electoral infractions. Yvonne Nekwe is our Eastern Region correspondent. She joins us live on the line. Yvonne, what more can you tell us?
Well, I suspect to you the MPP, who are the respondents in the matter, have welcomed the decision of the court by giving them the affirmation that the Suhum MP-elect will still stay in Parliament and conduct his business. We do know that the Suhum constituency was one of the constituencies that had a bit of infractions and then violence during the 2024 elections. And so the NDC and then the independent candidate then had to petition the court as it were seek for relief on a rerun of the elections as the polling stations, it believed, had issues or annulled the results by the Electoral Commission. But today, presiding High Court judge of the Koforidua High Court 4, Judge Kofi, said that the evidence submitted by the petitioner did not hold enough to seek them the relief they were seeking. And so the MP was still maintained as the Suhum MP, and no re-elections would be happening at the Suhum constituency.
The Honorable High Court of Koforidua today, and this one, dismissed the election petition filed against the Honorable Member of Parliament for Suhum constituency. The court dismissed the petition filed by the petitioners on the basis of it not having any case under to stand on. The court was also clear in its mind that the court examination that taken, which was undertaken by the very respective lawyer Gary Makuma for his legal team gravely exposed the petitioner's lack of evidence, the petition that they filed before the High Court. Again, the petitioners, the respondent, also in acknowledgement of the ruling, also asked for costs and damages for the time wasted throughout the 1 year of the trial. Even though the petitioners asked for 50,000 out of the 500,000, the court, in its wisdom, granted 200,000 costs and damages to the respondent. We believe that this brings finality to this tortuous journey, which right from day one, lawyers for the Honorable Asiedu Bekoe were clear that the petition was frivolous, had no legs to stand on, and pathetic right from the scratch. We believe that just as the Suhum MP today has had his day in court and his mandate has been affirmed by the court that he was duly elected, we also do believe that this will serve as a warning and signal to all those who may toy with the idea of wasting their court's time in subsequent cases. Thank you.
Thank you. And you had Samia Uku, his lawyer for the NPP MP for the Suhum constituency, Frank Asiedu Bekoe. Now, this afternoon, alarmed by what he describes as a disturbing downward trend in the quality and success rate of police investigations, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tetoyono, has sounded a strong warning to crime officers, insisting that weak investigative work is steadily eroding public confidence in the Ghana Police Service and emboldening criminal activity. He says the trend is unacceptable and must be reversed through renewed accountability, modern investigative approaches and stronger leadership by crime officers. Noble Crosby Annan is currently with the police administration. He joins us live on the line. Crosby, if you can tell us more regarding what the Inspector General of Police has been saying.
Right, Vicky. So this is about a conference that is geared towards solving the current downward trend of police investigations, particularly emphasizing on the role of crime officers in what we are talking about. Now, the IGP said that he was disturbing the downward trend of police investigation, and as the head of the Ghana Police Service, he's committed to reversing the trend and enhancing their investigative capabilities. He says that crime statistics are painting a concerning picture in the decline of both quality and success rate of investigations, and they undermine public trust, and then they go ahead to embolden criminals because the investigations are likely to be unsuccessful. And it says that the trend is unacceptable, and the police service must take responsibility to collectively reverse it. Particularly for the crime officers, he says that their role is pivotal to turn the tide, and then crime officers must take responsibility for the quality of investigations conducted under their authority. So for investigators and for all other people under the authority of the crime officers, they need to do better. Poor performance of investigators, it says, must be investigated. Challenges the crime officers face are evolving, and the crime itself is evolving. So there's a need for crime officers to be trained in conferences like this so that they'll be able to stay ahead of the criminals. They demand that they modernize their investigation approach, and they've been advised to seek internal assistance for training and retraining to adapt to new challenges and stay ahead of the criminals. We can take a listen to exactly what the IGP Christian Tetoyono said this evening.
The disturbing downward trend of police investigation. As the head of the Ghana Police Service, I am committed to reversing this trend and enhancing our investigative capabilities. I am convinced that together we can stem the tide of crime and restore public confidence in our service. Our crime statistics paint a concerning picture about a decline in the quality and success rate of investigations, which undermines public trust and emboldens criminals. This trend is unacceptable, and we must take collective responsibility for reversing it. I want to emphasize that excelling in investigative work is not optional, but our core mandate. As crime officers, you are at the forefront of this battle. Your role is pivotal. in turning the tide. To succeed, we need to operate with guiding principles that define our service. Crime officers must take responsibility for the quality of investigations conducted under their authority by way of supervising investigators in the discharge of their duties. Poor performance and misconduct of investigators must be reported to the administration for further action.
And you had the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tateyono. My colleague Crosby Annan is still on the line. Crosby, I know the Director General of the Police CID was also there. What did she say?
Well, she's also throwing more light on the need for this kind of training or this conference. And then she says that it is relevant for crime officers to address the challenges that are creating the downward trend in their success and the quality rate of investigations. When it comes to crime officers, their role of gathering evidence, interviewing witnesses, and building solid cases worthy of prosecuting is crucial in the justice delivery system of the country. Hence, they should actively participate in these kind of training so that they can also stay ahead of crime. She's also complimenting or congratulating and encouraging the officers over the ability to stay ahead of the challenges that they face. High case loads, limited logistics, evolving criminal methods, amongst others. There are realities that they face, but they are able to navigate around those challenges and they're still able to get the job done. So he's thankful to them.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosby Annan, currently with Inspector General of Police Christian Tateyono and his team as they assess the men. Now, member of Parliament for Ofori Atta has asked the government to align its revenue priorities well to execute the new Accra-Kumasi Expressway while upgrading the old highway into a befitting status. With both projects drawing their fundings from government coffers, he fears the possibility of both projects being left to hang without completion, or there will be a complete abandonment of the old highway, which requires some minor construction works. The roads minister, however, assured that the old project will be continued and given the needed attention it deserves. Parliament on Wednesday approved a concession agreement between government and the Accra-Kumasi Expressway Limited for the construction of the new project, and we'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News today on 3FM and 92.7. Coming up shortly is Business Daily with Bismarck Awusa. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Enjoy your afternoon.